Hi, my name is Ian. As you can see, I'm a Morningside bowler. I've got my Morningside kit on, and I've been asked to come along and give you some very basic stuff about how to enjoy the game of bowls. Now, I'm going to go through 4 things. I'm going to give you some basics about what not to wear. I'm going to talk to you about the objectives of the game. I'm going to teach you how to hold one of these bowl things so that you don't get embarrassed on the green. And I'm going to teach you how to deliver a bowl. I'm going to give you the very basics. When you come to Morningside, there's all coaches and we'll come and help you and we will make it much more full. Your understanding will be much better. But this is just the basics so you know what you're letting yourself in for. Let's talk about the objective of the game. Now, there are essentially two types of balls in bowls. There is this small one, which is called the jack. This is the target bowl. This is what everybody is trying to get close to. The objective of the game is to roll these big ones as close as you can to this small one. Okay, now on the face of it, that sounds pretty easy. I'm just going to drop this because I'm going to need my hands, but it's not. And the reason for that is that if you look at a bowl, I'm not sure if you can see this, the bowl itself isn't round. You'll see that it's taller in this direction than it is wide in that direction. So it's like a flattened egg, really. And the other thing about it is you'll see that on one side, it bulges just a little bit more on that side. Now, the practical upshot of all this is that when you roll it, you're supposed to roll it in that upright position so that it goes and doesn't bounce. And the other thing about it is because of this bias, the center of gravity is off center and the thing will bend like a banana, which makes it very hard to get it close to the jack. So that's why the game is tricky. It's easy to play, but it's difficult to do well. Okay, now in order for you to understand which side the bias is on, most bowls, well, all bowls, come with a simple way of looking at this. You'll see on one side there's a big logo, and on the other side there's a small logo. Okay, thing to remember is that the small logo is always on the side that the bias is on. So if I'm looking at that side and my bowl is there and my bias is there, it will bend off to that direction. If it's the other way around, it will bend off to that direction. Okay, so that's the basics about the bowl. Now I'm going to talk to you about how to pick up a bowl and hold a bowl ready to deliver. Now, that might sound a little bit kind of, hang on a minute, this is just picking up a bowl. But because of all the biases and all those kind of things, you can get it wrong, and people do get it wrong. So I just want to show you what I recommend as a routine for preparing to bowl. So first off, I'm a righty. I've got I bowl with my right hand. So if you are a left-handed player, then basically what we need you to do is mirror what I'm doing. Just do the exact reverse of what I'm doing. Okay, so you pick up the bowl with the hand you're not going to bowl with. And let's say I'm planning to bowl the bowl down the right-hand side of the green and let it bend towards the left. Basically what I do is in my left hand, I hold the bowl up and I make sure that the biased side, the one with the small logo, is on the right, because I'm going to go down the right-hand side of the green. Okay, then what I do is I put my fingers straight down the bowl and I let my little finger just relax on the side and not get in the way. I put my thumb down the back of the bowl, and you can see that when I turn the bowl over, I keep my fingers straight. I've got my thumb just there and it's relaxed in my hand. Basically, you need to be able to grip it so that you're not going to drop it, but you don't need to grip it too hard. If you grip it too hard, you won't be able to let go. Okay, now the important thing about that turnover at the end is that bias is now on the left-hand side, ready for me to deliver. And the left-hand side means it will bend to the left as I go down the green. Okay, so that's holding the bowl and being ready to deliver. Good idea to get that as a routine. Get it all sorted before you get on the mat. Okay, so now we're on to the last thing, which is how to deliver the bowl. Remember, we've just gone through our routine to get it into our hand in the right position. I'm going to bowl down the right hand side of the green. Now, you'll see on the green that there is a rubber mat. This is there to protect the green and from scuffing and all that kind of stuff. And it's also part of the rules, you have to bowl from the mat. So basically, when you are going to deliver a bowl, you stand behind the mat, you have your bowl ready, and you're looking down your point of aim. Now remember, your point of aim is to the right in this particular case of the jack, and maybe it's going to be something like 6 or 8 feet to the right of the jack. And for those of you working in metric, that's a little bit over 2 meters. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk onto the mat. I'm going to place my right foot in the middle of the mat. I'm going to get comfortable with my left foot so I'm nicely balanced. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a number of things pretty much simultaneously. First, I'm going to get into a crouch position, and you'll see my left hand is resting on my left knee. This is just to stabilize me. And what's going to happen is my arm is going to go back at the same time as my left leg is going to take a small step forward. Okay, and then I'm going to bring the bowl through, deliver the bowl, and stand up. Fingers on the bowl, ready to deliver. I stand on the mat in the middle. I'm looking down the green at the point of aim, and I'm getting into a crouch position, putting my left hand on my knee. I'm looking further down the line. I put my left foot forward and my right arm back, and then I let the bowl go. So, as one smooth movement. Okay, so I've been showing people how to learn to bowl at Morningside now for quite a while, and during that time I've come across a number of typical mistakes. So I just want to emphasize the main points. The first thing is, when you're picking up that bowl, get that routine sorted out, because that will solve an awful lot of problems for you. The second thing is, when you're approaching the mat, make sure you're walking down your point of aim. So you're not actually standing straight and going straight at the jack, you're at a slight angle. Okay, the third thing is, when you swing your arm back, make sure your arm stays straight. A lot of people bowl and they bend their arms, and that means it's very difficult for them to control the bowl. The fourth thing is, when you go through and you take a step, you're allowed to step off the mat. This is not like 10-pin bowling, where there's a line and you can't cross it. You need to be able to step off the mat, because if you don't, you're going to start falling over or stepping back, and that makes it very difficult for you to control the bowl. Okay, now finally, just remember that this is a fun game, and it is possible to get it wrong. I mean, we've shown you how to get it right, but doing things like this, if you bowl the bowl sideways on like this, it will bounce and wobble and all the rest of it, and that's called a pineapple. That can be very embarrassing, something to avoid. If you get the bias on the wrong side, you will stand there and you will deliver and all the rest of it, and you will watch it veer off into the next rink, which can also be very embarrassing. It can be quite expensive in terms of the jeering and the tequilas that you have to buy later. And so there's a number of things that you can get wrong, but it's a fun game, and people come here and they get over these kind of things and they enjoy themselves immensely. We're open to all sorts of players. We're open to companies, teams, all the rest of it. Anybody who wants to come and try this game, we are very eager to give you an opportunity to come and play and use our bowls and enjoy yourselves.